Welcome everyone to a new the X Button Reacts. We are here to react to the Destiny 2 showcase for August. I'm Alejandro, one of your hosts from the X Button. With me is my lovely co-host,
Paul. Hey everybody.
All right, Paul, we're gonna be reacting to this, so put your own audio on and let's go.
Make sure you hit live again, Alejandro.
Yeah. I already hit it.
Well, you did, but when you paused it briefly, it's going to be delayed.
No, we're already in.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure.
Here comes Sabathun. Oh man.
Truth is a funny thing.
You have no idea how hyped I am for this.
I don't. This
Yeah,
is
this
all new to me.
Yeah, this is your first reaction to one of these showcases, and these showcases are usually the most hyped thing in the world.
Is it constant?
Those freaky looking armor
Or
pieces.
can it be bent?
Also, Bungie has been hyping this thing a lot over the last month.
Who decides what is true? In this universe of light and dark, there is no greater power. Tell me, little lights,
Oh man.
what is your truth now?
I'm getting such Taken King vibes. You have no idea. She's just the wife of Oryx from the Taken King.
Yeah. That's one of my more memorable moments.
Yeah. Now imagine if the tone of this expansion is like the Presage. Imagine that.
I don't know if I was around for that.
Dude, it's the Dead Man's Tale mission that we did.
Oh, okay.
That's the
okay.
Presage.
Oh my god, James. Sabathun is serious. I think she's the most dangerous villain we faced yet.
7 years we've been building up to this moment, and she is finally stepping into the spotlight
That is a
and
very
showing us
cool
who
design.
she really is.
Yes.
What we know about light and darkness
I'm liking
is
the
proving to
stage.
be way more complex than what we previously thought. There are so many lies, truths, and revelations that we're going to get to in The Witch Queen and the year leading up to it. I mean, we're paying off these narrative
Ooh.
threads that go all
Oh
the
my
way
God.
back to Destiny's origins, and we're supporting it with the best content that Destiny has to offer.
Definitely. And we've got a lot of awesome content to show today. Let's start with the most mysterious destination yet.
Sabathun's Throne World. This is an uncharted wonderland of
Okay.
secrets and lies. It's this place that she's created in her own image, this surreal and majestic, light-blessed world. She has this castle that she rules from. It overlooks
Dang,
this
it looks
dark,
like,
swampy underbelly with this lone pyramid ship out
Where
there.
was the Witch
It's the
Queen
future world
from,
she wanted to create, built
or
atop
the Witch
darkness
King
that she left behind.
from Lord of the Rings?
And Throne Worlds, they're a deep part
Oh,
of Destiny lore. Powerful entities
pl-
create these pocket
his place. I
universes,
forget
and
the
when we're
name.
there, we have to play by
Minas
their rules.
Morgul.
But
Yes.
now,
Yes.
our own light
I kept
powers are
thinking
being
of the
used
Shadow of
against
War
us.
Minas
And she has
Ithil.
this
Yes.
whole army of Hive that she's ascended to the light and brought along with her.
Oh dang.
These are
Ascendant
the
Hive.
Hive Guardians, and they are the backbone of her new army.
Oh dang.
We've talked a lot. Let's show a little. Let's take
Those
the
things
first
look
ever
really
look
cool.
at the Witch
Yeah.
Queen gameplay.
There we are.
Sabathun, the Witch Queen, hive god of cunning and lies.
Okay, that's really cool.
After the death of her brother Oryx,
Okay, brother then.
Sabathun
I thought they were they were husband and wife.
not out of fear, of course, but out of strategy.
Yeah, it's gonna be a
Oh my
horror thing.
gosh.
Yes.
In her greatest trick yet, stealing our most sacred resource.
So Presage was like a
She could
tease
never
for this.
touch.
The tone.
Oh,
The light.
so they can wield the light. Oh, that's horrifying.
Holy crap. They can do
Oh,
the
no.
blade barrage?
That was cool. New melee type.
Oh wow! Do you see that?
Uh-huh.
A new spear.
That's gonna be fun.
Die ghost. Yeah. Oh, come on. 222. That's
I
awesome.
cannot wait just to reach out and just crush a hive ghost in my hand.
Yeah, I mean, we've been defined by the light for so long. This is uncharted territory for us. I mean, we're in strange new places. Like, the throne world, it's haunting, but it's
I
gorgeous.
get very
It's
Kingdom Hearts 3
beautiful. There's
vibes
a
from
lot to
that
love.
outside.
There's a
Yeah.
few things we saw in the trailer that we haven't talked about yet.
Man, this
Savathun
new
and her
biome's
Lucent Brood.
awesome. Holy
This
crap.
is the biggest threat Guardians have faced yet, so we need to find new weapons to match their power. The Glaive. I love this thing. It's brutal and elegant.
The Glaive.
This is a new energy weapon with melee abilities, mid-range projectiles, and defensive capabilities. It's our first ever first-person melee weapon, and it is such an awesome tool for the battlefield.
I like how it fits together.
Uh-huh.
The glaive feels so good. Just jump.
Is it
in,
like a
unleash
precision
these
weapon?
brutal melee
Like-
combos and transition right to an energy
That's what I'm
blast.
wondering. Is it going to be a heavy?
Yeah.
It's really powerful and has a lot of utility.
Because of swords.
We've told you about what the
I
Glaive
know,
can
but
do.
they said it was a...
Now let's talk about how you're going
I
to get
don't
your
know.
hands on one. These weapons don't come out of chests at the end of missions, and you're not going to find one roaming around the throne world. Your
Okay.
first glaive is not going to be found.
Oh.
It's going to be
Oh.
built.
Yes, weapon crafting is coming
Oh.
to Destiny 2.
Holy crap.
Now, chasing
What?
weapons has been an integral part of the Destiny Pursuit game since the beginning. And over the years, we've added more deterministic paths to get the rolls that you want on guns. Think things like Umbral engrams
Yeah,
and the raid chest.
Weapon crafting unlocks the freedom to choose all that and more. It gives us ultimate control over the guns. Now, this is a combat-focused
Okay, this is gonna
crafting and
change
progression
everything.
system.
Oh my god.
That means the more you use these weapons, the more objectives you complete with them, the more you'll level them up, and the more powerful they grow over time. And at launch, here's the awesome thing.
Level
You'll be
up,
able to
but
craft
what about
all
power
Throne
though?
World weapons, new
Oh,
raid
wow,
weapons,
here's the new
and
weapons.
the seasonal weapons. There's just a ton of stuff to do in this system. And the Witch Queen is just the beginning of weapon crafting. We have plans to add more craftable weapons, both legacy and new, throughout the year.
We've seen and we've
Sarah.
talked about a lot of really cool features, but let's get right into the meat of it. Let's talk about the Witch Queen campaign.
Okay. The thing you play once?
I love campaigns. They've always been a cornerstone of the Destiny
Unless you're
experience.
me.
They're rich,
Yeah.
deep stories interwoven with big combat sequences and memorable characters. They take us to remote worlds in our ever-changing universe.
Man,
And so
this
we're
world is
putting
so cool
extra
looking.
care
Like
into the
really,
campaign
it's
for
like
the Witch Queen. We want
the
you to feel
world's
those
end of Kingdom Hearts,
goosebumps
like-
when you step onto the throne world
It
for the
really
first time
does.
and come
Yeah.
face to face with Hive Guardians.
And every one of the missions has its own unique fantasy. Like, what does it feel like to storm a castle or just go straight into the depths of hell?
If you like games
All
with
right.
standalone campaigns like Doom,
Doom's.
Titanfall
Hopefully they
2,
can bring.
God of War, and
Yes.
Halo,
A lot of
the
big
Witch Queen
names.
is for you.
Yes. Hey, they mentioned Doom and God of War. I'm in.
So, in addition
I'm
to
liking
our
that
classic
type
normal
Yes.
of armor.
Legendary is our tougher, aspirational version of the campaign, where the enemies hit harder and respawning is heavily restricted. So every battle is a gut punch. Every boss is a worthy adversary.
Okay.
It's gonna hurt. You might tap out, but if you persist and you get to the end, your time will be well rewarded.
Whether you want to play solo or with a fire team, the difficulty will scale based on how many people you bring.
Ooh, okay.
Before we go,
They've been
one
needing
last trip
that.
down memory lane. I remember camping out the Predator for Destiny 1 because I just had to have the Ghost. To me, it was like the symbol of Destiny. And if you care about that stuff like me, you're gonna want to get your hands on the Collector's Edition because you're gonna get a Hive buddy to go up on the shelf with it.
What is that base, though?
Uh-huh.
It looked like a...
Wow,
They had,
that's
like,
so
sound
cool.
knobs
I'm
on
it.
I'm so excited for this one, and that's not even everything that's in there too.
I know.
This is
Those
why I
are the
love
hero
Bungie so
items,
much,
and
because
they're,
they
I
put
think,
so
one of
much
the best
emphasis on the
ones that we've
people
ever done. Collector's
telling you
editions
about
have
this. It's
always
not just
been,
about
Yeah.
let the game
like,
do the
this really
talking.
perfect jumping point to enter the worlds that we build and actually lifting like in-world objects.
I would like to
and
get one of the
putting them in
little
players'
Destiny
hands is
ghosts
just-
one day.
It's
for
just
my
a good
desk.
feeling.
We don't just
Yeah.
put random items.
I wanted to,
everything
but
in
the
there means
collector's
something.
edition of the original was too
Push the
expensive
narrative,
because that
and there might
included
be some
those.
puzzles to unlock in there as well.
So at this point, you can see Savathun has been one of our greatest threats, operating behind the scenes for years.
You may have heard of her brother, the Taken King, but Savathun is the most dangerous being we've ever faced. She's cunning, elusive, she works in the shadows, so in a way, Savathun is new to all of us.
Exactly, and now it's time to finally see this legend reveal herself and change the Destiny universe forever.
But when we talk about the overarching story of Destiny, we don't just mean the plot lines or characters that feature release to release.
Narrative is a guiding force in Destiny, and we're calling on its rich history of world building, bringing that to the forefront and growing it in a bold new direction. So when you join the game today, you'll experience an immediate call to action alongside millions of your fellow Guardians.
During this past year, we watched the results of your actions play out across Destiny's seasonal releases. You've redeemed old foes, brought former enemies to the bargaining table, learned that there's always more than one side to every
That's the season
story,
you missed.
and built alliances no one ever thought possible.
And on the largest scale, you'll experience a vast, living, interconnected world of stories that's striving to a greater end.
We need you, Guardian.
There's a Titan.
You'll experience this alongside a massive community of Guardians, release after release, together. This is our universe's cosmic purpose. This 10-year journey we've been on since Destiny 1.
That was when they
it's
bolted all
drawing
the
to its
planets.
dramatic conclusion.
That map when you
The
saw
Light
the
and
dark.
Darkness saga will end. But make no mistake, Destiny 2 will not. We're building not so much to an ending, but more to this transformative moment for Destiny 2's future.
Last year, we announced the Witch Queen and the following expansion, Lightfall.
And now we're excited to announce the release after Lightfall, the final chapter in the Light and Darkness saga. Destiny 2, the final shape.
Okay.
It's going to be one wild, continuous ride.
Yes.
The 2024
and that ride
expansion.
starts with Season of the Lost. Not only is it the prologue to the Witch Queen, it's your first opportunity to interact with Savathun. But rather than spoil it for you, why don't we take a look?
That starts today.
If we are to survive the coming storm, the tower and the Dreaming City must
Dreaming
stand
City's
united.
really cool to run around.
You need to do the Last Wish raid. I need to take you through it. It's so good.
A ring of spears pointing inward from the edges of our system.
Nice.
The Witch Queen is no less dangerous now than she has ever been. We must
I thought she was
whatever
dead.
secrets she knows with the
Marissa, no, she went through a different dimension.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just remember she was talking to her brother.
the pathways of the Ascendant Plane and guide my people back to me.
Wait,
liking
6.
those arms.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Taking stuff. The Shatter Realm.
There is a malevolent force at work in this plane, Guardian.
Remember, you played Shattered Throne. This is the Shatter Realm.
Okay.
Hager's Scepter. Oh, dang, a Stasis Trace Rifle.
God.
Your knack for violence is
What
needed.
Crossplay.
Yes.
That's good.
I see Osiris there.
Perhaps with them, I can save us all.
Right.
Oh my god, it's carrying us all the way to February 22nd. That's 6 months. Almost.
Seasons have gone through massive
How long was this
transformations since Shadowkeep. We're
Since
dedicated
May
to creating
to
an
August.
evolving, interconnected world
May,
that puts
June,
your
That was pretty
Guardian
short.
at the center of the action. We're reaching the
Four-
end of
4
one journey
months.
and the beginning of another.
The days of Destiny's biggest story moments happening in lore pages is long gone. I mean, Mara's
Yeah.
return has been
Yes.
hinted at forever, and now it's happening in a season. One of the
Oh,
changes
okay.
I'm most excited about
Likewise.
are the updates to the light subclasses every season in Year 5 of Destiny 2. We're adding aspects and fragments similar to Stasis. We'll be starting with the Void
Okay, so
subclass
this is next
update
year.
that goes live alongside the Witch Queen.
All
But
right.
the Witch Queen is only the beginning of what's to come, and Season of the Lost is the prologue to that story. It starts off with Marasov's return to the Dreaming City, and with her return, all the awoken technology comes alive.
Yeah, they
never really touched on the
With the
Awoken
Hive
very
God of War,
much.
Ziggurat
they did in
has
Forsaken, but
reemerged
they've been
and has
needing to touch
Guardians
more on
and
that.
Mara in her sights. Guardians must forge a path through the Ascendant Plane to save Mars' lost coven of witches before Zeburath can reach them. And to aid you in this task, you'll have
Man,
the
there's one of those
Wayfinder's
strikes is glitched as all heck that's in the Dreaming City.
The corrupted strike.
I hate it.
An ancient awoken artifact that gives the wielder the power to uncover pathways, secrets, and treasures within the Ascendant Plane.
There's a plethora of new weapons coming, including a suite of legendary stasis guns.
Oh yeah, the legendary
enemies
stasis
cold.
weapons debuted this season. So
The armor makes you feel like you're a member of Queen Mars' court.
And
yeah, the
no
armor looks
season is
sweet.
complete without new exotics, and Season of the Lost features one once intended for Aldrin.
Oh boy.
Trials of Osiris, here's the rework.
Trials.
I
Trials of Osiris
haven't even been able to play it.
in-game
Oh,
aspirational
man.
PvP activity and more
Be
popular
grateful you haven't,
Two
because
of the
it's sweaty
biggest asks
AF.
from our community have been
So
adding
I've heard.
anti-cheat and adding matchmaking. In Season of the Lost, we're doing both.
We've partnered with BattleEye to soft launch the anti-cheat
There it is, the
software when
anti-cheat.
Trials goes live on September 10th. Also, you'll be able to matchmake with groups of players to form fire teams or solo queue by yourself.
Okay.
And we've remixed
That's
how
new.
rewards are distributed. to
Because
give
you
all
can
players
matchmake
the opportunity
in
to
Trials.
earn some of the
That's
best weapons and
fantastic.
coolest
Yeah.
armor in the game.
That's right. We're shifting away from winning matches as a primary way to earn loot, and instead, winning individual rounds and completing matches will allow you to earn some rewards. But Going Flawless hasn't changed. So if you want to flex those PvP skills, the Flawless chest will still
I'm
be the
fine
only
with that,
place
I
to
think.
earn it.
As long as I have
Weapons
access
and
to
unique
some of
cosmetics.
the weapons.
Yes.
All right, so the next chapter in Destiny begins right after this stream with Season of the Lost. Return to the Dreaming City with Mara Sov and
great.
learn the mystic art of wayfinding.
I'm so excited crossplay is going live today.
And today is your first opportunity to jump into Destiny with friends on any
It
platform
would be cool if they had
from
cross
all over the
progression.
world.
No, there is cross progression. Crossplay is
Oh, there is.
Yeah,
so I
cross-
can just like log in.
on PC. Yeah. Oh, okay. There's the anniversary
Yeah.
event. Let's see. This company has been out for 30 years. That's insane.
That blows my mind too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that original trailer.
Uh-huh.
I
Just the music. I'm getting chills. Just-
Oh man. Oh, they're doing it.
Oh, Halo 3. Dang. For the memories. Yeah, there it is, the original Bolt of Glass.
First VOG. That's my first team.
Man, I remember that when they, before D2 gave you the memories of the activities you made and who you did it with. Super effective. Ah, man. Those nights with Halo 3.
As a company that prides itself on taking care of its employees and their significant others and their communities and those who are
Heck
in
yeah,
need,
Bungie, yeah.
it's pretty devastating as we look at the racism in America. And our intention is to do better and to leave the world in a better place. We want to be a part of that social change. Fuck racism.
Ah,
We don't
yes.
just stop with the games that we make, but we really utilize the successes that we've seen to be able to give back in an even greater capacity.
Seriously, the Bungie Relief Fund is so amazing.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
They've always had it. And obviously with the last year and change, it's become even more important.
I remember in the beta when everyone was just dancing on the tower. And they would get on top of like those street lights. It was like dance parties at all times. It was so fun.
This game is going to single-handedly destroy my social life, and I can't wait.
Bungie just has that special sauce. You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah. Halo 2.
Guardian. Time to kick 'em where it
Yeah.
hurts.
Reach. I think this is Oni. Yeah. That's Forsaken. R.I.P. Cade. Marathon.
This is going to hurt.
I would say even from the most basic level, Destiny's aesthetic is so unique.
It's just a
And
masterclass in art, right?
Oh yeah. Design perspective, it's like you know something's from Destiny immediately upon looking at it. Power of visual identity. You don't have to say anything. You just put a character on screen. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, I know what that is. And for there to be 3 classes that have the same aesthetic but feel so different as well.
Oh yes.
How do you follow that? Wow.
Yeah.
30 years. And I remember when Halo first launched, and my friends and I completed the entire campaign in a single epic play session. And as the credits rolled, I knew that Bungie had transformed console gaming forever, and that I
Man, in
would
college,
be a lifelong
the many
fan.
rooms that I
it
saw
changed
with
how we
people
played
having
games,
TVs
too.
all gathered
I
together
remember
to play
getting
the
together with
co-ops
friends for
of
Halo
these
weekend
games.
LAN parties. We had so much fun. And 30 years of Bungie games is something special. It's something worth celebrating
Oh, boy.
together. So we're going to have a party in Destiny 2.
Oh yes.
Starting this December, we are launching the Bungie 30th Anniversary Celebration in Destiny 2. Free for all players, the 30th Anniversary Celebration will offer a new 6-player matchmade activity, secrets to unravel,
You
and
know that's gonna
rewards
have some
that
good
commemorate
loot.
our
Yes.
long and storied history together.
And that's just the beginning. In addition to the free event, players can also purchase the Bungie 30th Anniversary Pack that includes a new treasure-themed 3-player dungeon set on the Cosmodrome within the fabled Loot Cave. Players will plunder its depths
Oh
to
my
discover
God,
an exciting
really?
new Thorm-inspired armor set and fan-favorite Destiny 1 weapons
yes.
like Isaluna and Thousand Yard
Yo!
Stare.
Isaluna.
It has the Claymore sword from Myth.
Purchasing the pack unlocks a range of awesome Bungie-themed armor ornaments and cosmetics to
Lord
collect,
have mercy,
including
that looks
ornament
so
sets
good.
inspired
Yes.
by the Bungie 30th Anniversary Celebration and Marathon. But the dungeon holds one more secret. The crown jewel of its weaponry is a Destiny 1 classic. Gallahorn is making its long-awaited
It's
debut
Yes!
in Destiny 2.
It's coming back.
We're going to take its iconic status to the next level. Galley has been carefully updated for the Destiny 2 sandbox.
So it doesn't
So,
break the
this
game
December,
like
join your
back in
friends
Destiny
and collect
1.
exclusive rewards during the Bungie 30th Anniversary Celebration.
But the party isn't only happening in Destiny 2. We've partnered with Nerf Limited to create
Oh my God, I really-
Make a Nerf Galley.
Yes.
We'll have more on that soon.
And that's not all. Here's a look at some of the incredible loot we've made over the years and a sneak peek of what's coming up.
Oh, I want that ship.
Yeah.
I actually have that Cade 6 figure.
Wow.
I don't
Do
know
you
how I
really?
got it.
We're celebrating Bungie's 30th
I never
anniversary.
bought it
30
though.
years.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, think of all the games and products that have come out over these years.
Yeah, starting
It
Operation
was a
Desert
free
Storm,
thing that
Pathways into Darkness,
GameStop gave me.
Marathon, Myth,
I remember now.
Oni, Halo, and Destiny.
I'm so jealous.
7
Yeah.
years of Destiny.
Because I don't have any Destiny
Amazing
memorabilia other than the
So
towel.
excited. You know, we have a lot of really cool stuff coming up and a lot of other things in the works, of course, as always. But
Yeah.
I mean, what do we have? We have the Fallen Captain statue, which is incredible.
And then we have the helmet. the
I would
Celestial
still say
Knight.
one of
Oh.
my favorite posters.
Man,
And,
look at that
my
Celestial
favorite
Nighthawk.
Arcadia jump
Like,
ship.
Yeah, I get goosebumps just
Model.
thinking about that. You know, it really gives me that nostalgia from Destiny 1. And so I think it's a great way we're going to celebrate not only Bungie's 30-year heritage, but the
They had
70-year
these really
heritage
good
of Destiny.
models of
And
the
it
Ace
definitely
of
gives you the
Spades
feeling.
at the anime convention that I went to. Like a
oh,
month
nice. I
ago.
wonder if it's the same ones that they showed here.
It
Oh, look
might
at
have
those
been.
boots.
They were like only $25 though, so they might have just been like reprints. But still, like for cosplay, it's really good.
Thank you for being
But
on this journey
one of
with
my
us.
favorite
Whether it started this
posters
year
is like that
or 30
original
years ago.
Destiny
We've
1.
just started talking about the Witch Queen today. We've got our
traveler
first peek at
poster.
weapon crafting, our definitively Destiny campaign, the glaive, and a year full of updates to all our light-based subclasses. All of this and more is coming alongside Savathun's long-awaited arrival front and center to the Destiny universe. The Witch Queen marks an acceleration in our story heading towards the conclusion of the Light and Dark saga, and we're so excited for everyone to join us on this epic adventure in the Witch Queen, Lightfall, the final shape,
The final
and beyond.
shape. Because there's more Destiny after the final
Another
shape.
amazing year
Right.
of Destiny with
It's just
4 great
that
seasons,
saga.
packed with all of the narrative events
Kind of
and
like what they hit
rewards
us
that
with
you've
that
come to
Kingdom
expect
Hearts.
from
They were
us.
like, oh, that
But
ends
there's
the
even more coming next year.
Light
2.9
series or something, whatever they call
The
it.
deluxe edition of the Witch Queen will also include 2 brand new dungeons to be released in 2022. And we're also going to be remastering another classic Destiny 1 raid and releasing it free for all players.
This means going forward, starting this December with our 30th anniversary event, There will be a new piece of raid or dungeon content in the game every 3 months.
That's amazing. That's so freaking
2022,
awesome.
We will also be adding legacy rotations for raids and dungeons, meaning every week there will be new ways to earn rewards in both the latest and greatest content and raids and dungeons from the past. If you love amazing in-game content, we want to prove that no other game offers more quality and more variety than Destiny 2.
Amen.
We
Yes.
hope that you've enjoyed a look into the future of Destiny 2. Witch Queen pre-orders are available wherever you play Destiny. Crossplay is live on all devices, and Season of the Lost kicks off today. See you in game.
Walking through the bog. Oh yes.
Man.
Having just played through that swampy section of Ghost of Tsushima's XCape expansion, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you're in that mood now.
Oh yeah. Also, you know, that's like my backyard, literally.
Yes.
Living out in them swamps,
The
boy.
Witch Queen is no less dangerous now.
Nice to see that they got some New Orleans representation out here.
Yeah.
Prepare for what is
I'm really excited about that spear.
Yes.
That looks like a lot of fun.
I'm just excited for weapon crafting in general. Just like, how deep can that go? Like, so many of the weapons that you missed, can you like rebuild them?
That sounds really cool because it could take the place of like the, what is it? Not the exotic section, but like the legacy quest thing. Let me get this off my screen now.
Man, that was a lot.
That was good. I mean, like, I felt satisfied as somebody who's a virtual newcomer comparatively, because even though I started when it began, I took that huge break until very recently.
Until like Beyond Light, after you saw so many things get like gutted out of the game.
I'm glad that I started after the gutting though, because if I had started and then immediately had that happen to me, I probably would have quit again.
Yeah, I feel you. It's like it takes a while. Like, but Beyond Light was like a huge leap of faith for Bungie. Be like, we're removing a bunch of this stuff because we believe it's gonna make the game better. Do you trust us? And that's tough because because Destiny has always been a game that has highs and lows all the time. It has moments where everyone freaking loves it. There has moments where everyone effing hates it. Moments
justifiably so in both cases.
Yeah, but that's kind of like we've been talking about like the live service model, and that's kind of comes with the territory because it's an ongoing thing that you're always playing all the time. It's never gonna be like roses and petals all the time. You have to hit your valleys, and Bungie's been doing that for 7 years now. So think about that.
And something else, just from like a technical standpoint, whenever, as you know, if you add something into a game that is like you have to recode it with everything else in mind, and if you remove something or put something in, you have to make sure it's all stable or the whole thing crashes. The fact that they combat that regularly while adding new things every week, every month, every 6 months, and still making it work as solid as it does is unheard of to this level of stability. And I mean, we might be looking at it with those rose-colored glasses briefly because, as we know, there's been like launch day horrendous situations, a lot of bugs and things to combat, but
disconnections most of the time, not bugs.
Yeah, but the fact that they've continued it so strong over the course of, like you said, 7 years. And I mean, you look at the comparison of like GTA Online's launch, where like people's accounts were getting wiped, corrupted. They just couldn't keep that kind of system going. And even now, there's been times of people having their accounts corrupted if they do the wrong thing at the wrong time. I know Red Dead Online had some stuff going on at the same time, even after all these years. So the fact that Destiny and Bungie is able to do this for Destiny so consistently while adding so much hype to each of their expansions is a testament to how dedicated they are to this kind of model, but also adding the value that we love.
Yes, and that's why like I always say that Bungie and what Destiny did is kind of like the example of a live service game that kind of shepherd us into this new era of gaming where everyone wanted to pursue this model and all that. But it's true what they always say. Sometimes the one that does it first is the one that does it the best. Because we've seen so many games try to attempt this and they have not committed the way Destiny has to. No, we're making this thing like as good as it can be. And other developers are like, they don't want to put the work. They want immediate results, and this is a kind of genre that's not going to be immediately appealing or immediately the best it can be. So now seeing, you're just thinking about it, like I haven't played this freaking thing since September 9th, 2014, in that vanilla launch. Yeah. And through every single raid, through every single campaign, and even with his frustrations, like, yeah, Destiny has given me some of the best gaming experiences I ever had in my life. So unique. And it just holds you. This game just like occupies your mind and your desire to play in a way that no other game does for me personally, for the kind of gamer that I am. And seeing them celebrate that through this showcase and also making it clear, just think about how many live services promise years of content down the line and eventually end up not happening. Look, Anthem.
They would give up.
Yeah, Anthem had like a roadmap.
That's low-hanging fruit, and yes. You know it.
Oh yeah, but just think about that. It's like they attempted to do that. They had a roadmap that they missed in its entirety. Then they said that they were gonna like rework the entire game, and then they were like, "F it, cancel, no more. Anthem's dead." Avengers, another game that I love, despite itself, and it missed a lot of things from their roadmap. It's like they promised quicker updates than they've been getting, and even the things that they've been getting have not been substantive enough compared to like what I'm used to when Destiny shows up. So,
and then you got your Outriders.
Oh yeah, but Outriders is not a live service. They made sure to say that. It was just a looter.
That's true.
To its benefit,
Outriders did have a conclusion to that. Division though, and Breakpoint.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the most I can think of off the top of my head right now. But
yeah. So Paul, like top level thoughts. What were your favorite thing you saw from this showcase?
Let me think.
Because a lot.
As
they bombarded us, yeah.
If I had to pick one thing, if I'm entirely honest, I'm a huge sucker, as you know, for cosmetics.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just Ghost of Tsushima, the expansion, I was on the fence about until I saw there were new armor sets, and I went, well, I'm buying it now. So for Destiny, it was so frustrating that so many armor things have been sunset. All of the either like ornaments or new cosmetics for like weapons and whatever were all either sunset, taken out, or you had to spend real money for it. So seeing so many new, like the stasis rifle and the pistol, or hand cannon rather, just all of the different things for that, all of the new armor sets that are clearly on the way, excuse me, and this weapon crafting system, whatever that's going to have, is clearly going to add more, because I'm like an aesthetic person.
Mm-hmm.
And even if I purchase an ornament set for armor, that's not really what does it for me. It's really about what can I earn to get more and more of these armor pieces, like Halo Reach. Think of that, where you got like different challenges, and as you did different challenges, you would unlock like a right arm, a left arm, a head, things on your head, and that was like absolute had me sold. So when you add more of that, for me personally, that's my thing. So I'll play through the whole game loop, and if I can just have that chance of getting more ways to look cool. So now that I've started to bounce between my Titan, Warlock, and Hunter, that's tripled my ability to make a cool looking character from like the colors and the armor pieces. So that's one of the big things for me. The other one would probably be the environments, because when it's just one or two like strikes added, you've got your campaign, it's really cool. But what I love is when I can go back into that area regularly.
Mm-hmm.
Because like that's why I was so excited when I saw Dreaming City again, because I used to think that was only an environment for like missions,
Mhm.
because it's not obvious on the map that you can just travel there.
Mm-hmm.
So I went down to like the take the Tangled Shore, there we go, and then just above it was like the picture of the Dreaming City, and I realized I could click on it and travel to that. That blew my mind because I love going into those places without like the constraints of a mission sometimes, and just going around and seeing what's the deal
Exploration
is.
has always been a part of Destiny, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like the Dreaming City is like a secret filled place, not necessarily for missions, but for you to find a bunch of that stuff. Unfortunately, a lot of that stuff is from years past, so it was not relevant for the current
Right.
power level or the things that you should be focusing on. And now with
Yeah.
this season that's launching today in 30 minutes, actually, now it will be good to go back to that place because that's one of the prettiest environments Bungie has ever done. It looks like it's so funny that we're talking about Lord of the Rings, how the aesthetic for the for the Witch Queen reminds me a lot of Minas Morgul from Lord of the Rings, like for the Witch
Very
King,
much.
ironically. Obviously, this is the Witch Queen. And ironically, also the Dreaming City reminds me a lot of Rivendell. From like where the elves. Yeah. So they like that Destiny always knows how to like take this fantasy idea and make it sci-fi. So yeah, I would agree. Like the environment is like so appealing, especially like even though we're still fighting Hive, also because there's always the complaint that Destiny always is very stingy about when do they add new enemy classes. But even though they're still thematically Hive, these are Guardian Hive. If you saw like how they were literally using supers against
They
you.
looked very different, and they were using a lot of these powers. And I'm a sucker for like that black and white aesthetic. So the fact that they're very focused on that from the new armor and the Witch Queen,
Mm.
and all of the new Guardians that are facing you also have that same aesthetic. I'm like, oh, okay, so we're just breaking out the big guns now. And like the cool single green piece of color on their faces is very striking, and I always like it. Some of the coolest pieces of the armor in Destiny are the ones that have like that galaxy look to it inside the head, like the one with the warlock piece. And so with them having that whole thing going on with like the crystal ball as their head, with everything else branching out from that, is just always so cool looking. So I always loved the Hive even beforehand, like from their tomb ships, just how weird but visually striking they always were. And very like zombies but not zombies, so they could get away with a T rating, but you're like absolutely ripping them apart when you fight them.
Punching them straight in the face.
This is the focus stretched out into like a new form and like a stronger version of it. It's like the only time I've seen zombies, quote unquote, done with weapons in a good way, because usually it's like, oh, that's dumb, but it's like, oh, these are aliens and they may be zombies, but they're like magic wizard zombies.
Another thing I'm so impressed just based on what they showed and just tonally, like I mentioned the pre-stage, the mission that we did 2 weeks ago ourselves to get you the exotic scout rifle. That was them toying with horror style Destiny, or kind of like something in the vein of Dead Space. It looks like they're like implementing a lot of that in Witch Queen.
They are.
That was like the proof of concept was there, and now they're like blowing it up in the full expansion.
And I know I was telling you back when we first did that mission how much I love when something that isn't horror dabbles in it, because it's usually not like over the top, but it gives you that good feel. So I know Halo, for instance, the master class of it, a generic first person shooter, kill aliens, and then all of a sudden you hit me with this absolutely terrifying zombie mission halfway through the story, and the whole game takes this huge left turn with the flood, and how really eerie it is, but while also still keep giving you those powers. And like just every time they've dabbled in that, there was even like one of the missions in Destiny 1 that introduced the Hive, I remember being terrifying because your ghost would like put the spotlight out, and that was all you could see in the really crammed hallways. And I remember feeling so much relief when I like got out of that complex into the sunlight again to fight them. I was like, oh, okay, we're good now. So when we jump back into the Dead Man's Tale quest and it has had that Dead Space feel, I was like, oh, okay, so this is what we're doing now. And just like you said, the fact that they use that to dabble and see how people responded to it. And I mean, even if people aren't as into like the creepy vibe, I think just the fact that it's so different from the normal Destiny mission has people like, yeah, okay, I'll play this again, I'll do more of this. And then they're like, okay, well, let's just put a whole thing out there. Warframe did another really good creepy aesthetic set of missions at one point with one of their Warframes, and like how to get it, you had to go through this really creepy ghost situation and hunt down like through a derelict ship. And I adore that whole thing whenever they do that. So the fact that this whole expansion is that thing but extrapolated is a sign me up moment.
Yeah. Also, the release date, February 22nd, 2022. Do you think they looked at the calendar and they were like, oh my God, there's a 2/22/22 in the calendar? We're definitely getting that.
I mean, I would, because it's memorable.
Yeah. It's like Skyrim 11/11/11.
Yeah.
Almost. Let me see when it lands in the calendar, just for curiosity's sake.
That would be.
It's a Tuesday. That worked out perfectly.
All that Tuesday.
Yes. Oh my God, Tuesday. It's gonna be a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday.
We gotta like remember to coin that whenever we do a podcast on that day, because we usually do it on Tuesdays. So also final thing that I kind of want to mention, they mentioned how they want to hit dungeons like almost every 3 months. That's big because
that was interesting.
Because raids usually come once a year. Every expansion comes with one, and obviously they're hard to do and hard to play because you need your team and all that, but they're like the highest of the end game content. But when they started doing dungeons with Forsaken going forward, I mean, it's just 3 players. It's a good way to get a raid style activity, but only with 3 people. So obviously the last dungeon that they released was the Prophecy dungeon, which is actually getting updated today to get new weapons.
Yeah, that was
so we should run that. And if they're gonna add more dungeons throughout the next year, I'm just liking the cadence because it at least gives you an idea of when to really come back if you want to tackle that kind of high-end level endgames kind of stuff, other than just the seasonal story.
If this is going to be a 6-month season, if they're doing 3 months for 6-month seasons, that's perfect for them to do their front-loaded stuff. Everyone plays through, they quit out, and they're like, oh, halfway through, new dungeon, new loot, and everyone's like, well, crap, I gotta go back now.
And they already said this December, because we're not getting an expansion this year because it got delayed.
Yeah.
At least we're getting that anniversary theme thing. Yeah. But that's the thing, we're getting a long season. At least it has enough to carry us. And then when we reach December, they already announced the 30th anniversary party thing that's going to happen in Destiny. Is going to give us that dungeon and the return of Galahorn. Do you remember Galahorn from Destiny 1?
Only very vaguely, because I don't even know if I ever got Galahorn.
I doubt you have gotten.
Remember how popular it was.
Yeah, I doubt you have, because you always told me you never raided in Destiny 1. That was like,
oh yeah, that was a raid.
Galahorn was the Nightfall or raid exclusive exotic from year 1, and it was absolutely broken. It was like the weapon that everyone wanted to get. In fact, everyone got so toxic about trying to get Galahorn because everyone started to do speedrun strategies to do raids that included Galahorn. And then Bungie had to like strike that thing into the ground to not make it as required. I think, especially because back then it was random. There was no way to get it guaranteed. It had to be a random drop. So
what was so broken about it?
It was a rocket launcher that then once it hits, it created clusters of high damage that then would hit them. And so you would hit with one rocket like an enemy like 10 times its damage.
Jeez.
And the thing is that Destiny 2 has gotten the power fantasy of Destiny 2 is different than Destiny 1. You can't completely wreck things right now, like what we just had this last season with the Breach and Clear grenade launcher mixed with Curse of the Stars, Superman Punch, and all that, and see like health melting. That wasn't.
I'm so glad I came in right at that moment, because that
it's
was
gonna get slapped eventually. Yeah, it's eventually gonna get slapped. Get ready, but at least we
wanna believe.
Yes, but that's the thing. Like, if they want things to eventually be challenging and not break the game, they eventually have to kind of tune things up. But they've gotten better at not nerfing things into the ground, because that was the philosophy. They never wanted everything to be something. They had the nails, and they didn't want that one nail to be sticking out. So they were always like hammer it in to not be as special. And their philosophy kind of changed, and they're allowing things to be more powerful, at least more or less for a while.
For PvE at least.
Yes.
Because PvP, they're like, okay, no, we can't have this in those situations. But also PvP is extremely toxic. But one other thing that I did want to mention, I'm very excited about Trials of Osiris matchmaking.
Yes.
Because I wasn't even able to do anything because no one was ever really available for that. And if they were, we were wanting to do either a raid or a dungeon.
Yeah, it was like, unless there was a weapon that was desirable, just the idea of having to tough out the way Trials was structured was not good, because Trials was originally, you could only earn rewards if you managed to win for 3 times, 5 times, and 7 times. And obviously, if you manage to win the 7 times without losing, then you get the flawless chest, which was shown here. The problem was that that's a super sweaty competitive mode, and the game didn't reward you originally just for playing. So a lot of people, there's not many people that are good at PvP sometimes. So just the idea of kind of running against the wall to try to get to that 3 win was like so demoralizing. People quitted the mode. Eventually, they added a bounty that you needed to fill up to 100%. That was just either winning matches or just completing matches. And it gave you the reward for the 3 wins, because it rotated. So the 3 wins would sometimes be a pulse rifle, it would either be an armor piece and all of that. And it was good that it had that bounty, but because it was just completionist, literally what many teams would start doing is that they would log into a match and just fall off the map constantly, because you didn't get penalized for that. It was just completing the match. So it was, the reward structure was such that people would rather throw away matches just to get the rewards than actually engage. So this will be good. I want to see how it works in practice and how good the loot will be. If it's going to be like a trade-off, because it used to be like some of the weapons that you got were kind of special because it had perks that were not available like in the world loot pool. So that'll be fun. But yeah, this is like, Destiny reveals are always some of the most hype moments for me. This is probably the best one they've ever done by just constantly punching and punching and punching. The one that I thought was closest to this was the first one they did after their Activision split off back in 2019. That's when 2019.
Forsaken, right?
No, heading into Shadowkeep.
Okay,
that one was hype because that was when they announced cross save. So that's when you could play your same. You decide which is your main account, and you could play it on PC, on Xbox, on PlayStation, Stadia. Stadia is still alive with them.
I forget that, honestly.
Yes. So they announced that. That's when it went free to play. And that's when free to play had more content. So it was like more exciting for me to try to get people to come back. Unfortunately, they kind of whiffed the ball with the onboarding process. So a lot of people didn't stick unless they had a friend and all that. But it just felt like they got it. Beyond Light was also exciting, but it was also coming from a little bit of a malaise period with Destiny, because it had a really bad season before that one. And that's when it also came with the news that Witch Queen and Lightfall were happening. So we're like, oh my God, they're actually revealing a roadmap of expansions instead of just announcing the expansion year over year. But that also came with the news that a lot of things was going away, the bolting and all of that. So yeah, it's like this one feel like more positive stuff. It didn't feel like there was anything that you'd be like, I don't know about that. The one thing that I'm still curious and want to see if they release a blog post about it, because that's how they did it with Beyond Light. They announced, we're going to bolt things that are not being used right now. And everyone's like, there are a few things that we know they're not used. Bolt that. And then they release it. It's like, oh my God, they're like bolting 5 planets. They're bolting this many strikes. They're eliminating all these weapons and all that. So the bad news kind of came after. So yeah, it's I want to see like if there's any bad news that are gonna come after. But as of right now, I think this was really exciting. And I would say Destiny Beyond Light was received okay-ish to good. It was like, because it was like a demolition that needed to happen for things to get better, and the seasonal stuff actually stepped up its game. Season of Chosen and Season of Splash were really good, and they did well with remastering the Bolt of Glass, which, by the way, they also announced that they're remastering another raid for free. I hope it's King's Fall, the Taken King one. That's an amazing raid. That's really, 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 really amazing raid.
That's what I was gonna ask, because I was trying to see if they like focused enough on one raid for you to kind of get a guess on it, but I did not. I was like, I don't know what any of these raids look like.
Yes.
So
my thing is that, for example, Bolt of Glass makes sense for it to be the remaster season that came with this past raid, because the activity was very Vex focused, and Bolt of Glass is a very Vex heavy activity.
Yeah.
So the Witch Queen being very high because of Savathun, like Taking King was also very high, and also Taken sort of thing. So it would make sense to kind of like synergize and have the raid that they're remastering be kind of like in the same theme, because it would be weird if then they do the Wrath of the Machine, which was the last raid that Destiny had, because that's a very Fallen centric raid, and it's about a virus called Siva and all that in the snow. so yeah, it's like, I don't think it would congruent unless the season that happens there kind of makes sense with what's happening. But since they're like trying to be more cohesive with the storytelling, they're all about how the Witch Queen is kind of like the central thing. So
yeah,
unless the aesthetics change season to season again, which I hope they don't, because that's that could be, they worked so hard at trying to make everything be a little bit more cohesive despite itself. And we just got a Fallen year with Beyond Light anyway. So it's yeah, I'll be curious, and they'll give us more details. We have until February, so will we be alive by then? I hope so.
I do hope so. I hope we're not doing this with our gas masks on in caves.
Exactly. So Paul, this was our reacts for the Destiny 2 showcase. Coming up in literally 7 minutes is the Microsoft one. They usually are not that long either, so we'll also be reacting to that. So thank you everyone to tuning into our the X button reacts here. So keep tuned for more episodes, and also more episodes for our podcast, the X button. So
indeed,
see you guys later.
Adios.